Hi, in this video we will do exercise 8.5. First of all, make sure you have your Excel ready. So here we have a US-based company asking for quotations for 5,000 wiring harness per month. And apparently they have received two quotes from two different companies, one in the US and the other one in Japan. And our task here is to find out which option has the lowest landed cost. For this we're going to use Excel to build our cost structure. First, we'll start with SBC, which is a local company. They have quoted unit price of $25. So I'm going to come here and type unit price, and here again, and 25. And packing cost of 75 cents. Well, here it says $75, but I think it's a mistake because you cannot have packing cost 3 times expensive than unit price. So just type 75 cents here. And finally, freight cost of 73 cents per unit. So I'll come here and type 73. Just a quick reminder, some of you will have a comma as a decimal separator, and some of you will have a dot. So make sure you have inserted the right one. For example, in my case, it's a dot. And if I will write comma instead of it, I will have my number in the left side of a cell. Now keep in mind that by default, all the numbers in Excel cell are located on the right side. So if you see anything like that, it means there is something wrong, and Excel doesn't consider that as a number. So make sure you fix it. Coming back to our exercise, now that we have all the costs that we need, let's calculate our total cost per unit, per month, and for 1 year. Type total landed cost here, and then equal sum, and select these cells, close the bracket, and enter. Here we're going to type monthly, and here annual. As we said earlier, our monthly order will be 5,000 units. So I will come here and type order amount, and then in this cell 5,000. Then I will come to monthly cell and type equal cost per unit times number of units, and drag it down. Whoops, I made a mistake. Actually, I'm supposed to fix this cell, otherwise my formulas here will refer to other cells. Just fix it here and drag it down. Then annual will be monthly times the number of months we have in 1 year, which is 12, and drag it down. Let's change our cell format to dollar so that it will look nice. And now we have our total cost per unit for 1 month and for 1 year. Now let's do the same for the Japanese company, but this time we will have more costs to consider. Just copy this structure from here and paste it here, and here type PLS. So our unit price here will be 21.5, and monthly it's going to be 21.5 times the number of units fixed, and annual will be this times 12. Now let's see what else is written here. It says each month PLS would also need to pack the harness in 3 containers, ship them overland to a Japanese port, transfer them to a container ship headed for Seattle, and then transport them overland again to Detroit. So it means we're going to have 3 different transport modes. The costs associated with this movement, costs Red Wing will have to pick up, are not reflected in PLS unit price. The additional logistics related costs Red Wing would have to cover include all these costs. So basically what happens here is that on top of unit price, our company will have to cover these costs as well. Now let's enter these costs in our Excel. We start with packing cost, which is $1 per unit. And monthly it will be this times this, and annual will be monthly times 12. Next is inland transport cost to the port of export, which is $200 per container per month. Now we need to understand that each month we will have 3 containers carrying 5,000 units. And this cost here represents our transport cost from Japanese facility to Japanese port. So it's going to be inland. Now we come to Excel and here type number of containers and here 3. This is purely just for our own reference. Then come here and type inland transport. Then come to months and type, it said $200 per container, which will be 200 times the number of containers, which is here. So this is going to be our monthly cost. And if we want to calculate our cost per unit, it will be monthly divided by the number of units. And annual will be monthly times 12. The next one is our freight forwarder's fee. A freight forwarder is a person or a company which is organizing transportation of goods between countries. And in this case, they charge $100 per shipment. So we come to Excel. How many shipments I will have in 1 month? Only 1. And it means my monthly cost will be 100. Then per unit will be 100 divided by the number of units. And annual will be this times 12. Now we come back to our exercise. And it says we also have to pay ocean transportation cost to bring our goods from Japan to the US. And it will cost us $2,067 per container. Come to Excel. So monthly we will have 3 containers as we said before, and for each we will pay $2,067. Cost per unit will be this divided by this, and annual will be monthly times 12. So far so good. So the next one is marine insurance. Obviously we have to insure our goods in case something might happen to our container on the way. And our cost here will be 0.5 cents per $100 of shipment. It means if our total unit price per month was $100, we would pay 0.5, which is actually 5%. But in our case, our total product price is $107,500, and in this case, our monthly will be 0.5% of this amount. Type equal monthly times 0.5%. And per unit it will be this divided by this, and annual will be times 12. The next cost is US port handling charges, which is $640 per container. What happens here is that when our containers will arrive at the port, they will charge us some money for unloading our containers and storing them for a while. We come here and type cost per container, which is 640 times the number of containers. Then calculate per unit and annual. Then obviously we have to pay customs fee, which is 5% of our unit price. Come to Excel, type customs, and here type 5% of our unit price. Monthly, it will be this times the number of units, and annual as usual. The next one is customs broker's fee. So this is a guy who has a special license to do customs clearance for you. and he will charge $150 per year in this case. We come to Excel, and annually it will be 150. So monthly it will be 150 divided by 12, and per unit it will be monthly divided by this. Let's come back to our exercise. Now we have transport from the Seattle port to Detroit, where our facility is located. And this will cost us $186 per unit. Let's do monthly and annual. And the next one is some additional paperwork, which is $100 per year. So we do the same. Now if we read further, we can see that it says PLS has told Red Wing that shipping lead times can be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. To compensate for this uncertainty, Red Wing would need to lease additional warehousing space to hold a safety stock of 1,000 harness at a cost of $3 per harness per month. It means that they will have to keep some stock in Japan in case something might go wrong, or there might be some delays. Now keep in mind that our company doesn't have to buy these items. They will just pay for warehousing expenses to hold them. We come to our Excel. So it said each month they have to hold 1,000 units at $3 per unit, which will create us additional $3,000 expense per month. And per unit reflection will be this divided by 5,000. And annual will be this times 12. Last but not least, it says Red Wing's personnel would also need to spend more time handling international shipment. So if they bring this stuff from Japan, it means they will need to spend more time. And each month, PLS shipment is estimated to require 4 hours of additional administrative time at cost of $25 per hour. Come to Excel. So monthly it will be 4 times 25. Per unit it will be 100 divided by 5,000. And annual will be 12 times 100. Finally, let's calculate the totals. And from here we can actually see that although Japanese company has a lower unit price, the total of other costs actually make it less attractive.